you log in, right? For us, we are the installer or programmer. So actually you can go into users. So you see Trane, right? By default, our account is the installer or programmer. Okay, so we are the administrator. So just now we talked about whether the account is active or inactive, right? So that's where you will see from here. Okay. So if you want to, if let's say the view access is someone, right, and you want to deactivate, then you just click on deactivate lah. So you deactivate their account. So they won't be able to log in and use this account anymore. Okay. So from here, you can also change the role. So for example, if you have actually a user, probably, you know, from a senior engineer is promoted to a manager role, then you may want to change the access to like a facility manager. So they actually hold more responsibility as well lah. So depending on their job role, then you will assign their role access as well. Okay, so for some of them, the technicians, they do not want them to do overriding. They only want them to view only. Then you will give them view access only. Okay, then for their engineers, they allow them to do overriding. Then you will give them either the building operator or the advanced building operator role. So it really depends on how your clients actually request for the access. Okay, so whenever they ask you to create users, right, what I will normally do is I will ask them to give me the name list, and also I will tell them what kind of role is available. Then I will ask the manager to tell me for this user, what is the role that you want to assign to them. Okay, so you let them know what is the different roles and what each role can do. Then let the manager, facility manager, tell you what they want for their staff. Then you create the role for them. Okay, so when you create the new users, right, you have to give it a So you can actually design what kind of role you want them to be. So for example, you can create a building operator role. So they are not going to be administrator lah. So usually we don't give any of the users administrator access. Okay, so you want to enable the auto log off. Then after every 30 minutes of inactivity, right, then the user will be automatically logged out. Okay, so it's good practice to actually just enable it lor. Okay, so you have to activate, user is activated, have to be checked lah. If not, the user account will not be activated. Okay, so every time when they first log in, what is the page that you want them to see? Okay, so if you have a certain page, then you can actually create a fixed page that you want them to see as a home page. So every time when they log in, this is going to be the first page that they see. Okay, then also these are some of the general preferences. So whenever this user do a override, right, what is the kind of priority that you actually give them? Okay, then after that, whether they will see simplified override. Okay, if you check this, then it's a simplified override view. Okay, so even if you don't use this, it's okay, it's fine. Then this is some of the regional settings. Okay, then the units that you want them to see as. Okay, so you will actually decide whether if your system is all configured in SI, then you use SI. Don't do it such that all your units are configured in SI units, then you select 1 inch pound for them. Then obviously they will be seeing like different things. Okay, so just stick to one kind of units when you create. Okay, so for this is a Tracer 10-inch display. So if you don't have it, it's okay. Don't need to do anything about that. Then also custom graphic access. So if you have actually Tracer SE graphics, right, then you might want to assign whether this user is able to see certain graphics only. So this is where if the user does not have access to everything, then don't give them all the access on the custom graphics. Okay, so that's where you can decide whether you want them to have what kind of access. Okay, so that's your user account. That's how to create a user account. Okay, so we also have the user roles. Just now we talked about the different kind of roles, right? So if a certain role, you can also still edit for this one you cannot edit for SE itself. So it's actually predefined already. You can't be able to change this one. It's not available for us. Okay, because for example itself, we can actually have more options to whether we want to allow them to have a configuration or full access or only view access kind of limits. So for example, you can't change that. So once it's actually assigned to this role, right, we can't change what is inside the role already. Okay, so you can actually assign it to a certain user. Okay, so for example, the test users, you want to change them, then you can actually assign them as well. Okay, so it actually becomes an advanced building operator. Okay, so that's pretty much about what you can do over here. Then for security is what we say, whether your passwords, you want to enforce like password expiration, then you have to check on this box. So that's pretty much on our users. Okay, so I think users account, you all don't have any questions, right? Or anyone has